time, Shaq is always going to track the ball. He's a shot blocker, so he's going to come over. That little fan pass is going to be there. And Bob, I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but Patrick cannot run away from that shot because he's missed a couple. He's got to continue to take it.
Ewing has missed his first 3. 6 for 23 now in 2 games against the Lakers. Bryant lost it. He thought he was fouled. No call. Houston knocked away cleanly by Harper. Kobe Bryant lets it go and puts it down.
Now, when we spoke to Phil Jackson 2 weeks ago, he said, you know, I want to see Kobe take a few more jump shots. He's a good shooter. That time he took his time, created some space, and just buried the jump shot. That will open up that quick drive.
Sprewell with Bryant right on him. Harper reaches in, knocks it away. Kobe on his right. And Bryant lays it in, plus the foul.
How about the 2 defensive plays by Harper now? He's going to give his team 5 points here. 3-point play opportunity. But Harper blocks Allen Houston's shot in from behind. Going to see the great play here. He comes in from behind Allen, the little pump fake and the long arms of Allen Houston. And then Kobe is going to pay off with that little jump shot. Create space, which is going to open up the drive. And then the next play, the deflection, Harper gets it. The 2-on-1 fast break. And Kobe's going to finish and get the foul. So this is 5 points, the subtle little things that Ron Harper brings to this team. He had a big game, 16 points Friday night against Philly in their win here.
Harper's 36 with all the aches and pains that accumulate over a long season. And there's talk about putting him on injured reserve as soon as the Lakers officially clinch things to rest him for the playoffs. But right now he's playing about as well in the last several games as we've seen him in a few months.
Well, Bob, I think if they do that, it'll help Derek Fisher because he has really struggled to give him some quality minutes, and also Brian Shaw. Phil knows what he's going to get from Ron Harper.
Houston gets by Rice, but not Shaq. Ewing's open, but can't hit. 0 for 4. Bryant doubled and lost it. Houston's pass deflected. A.C. Green tries to save it to Larry Johnson, who pegs it to Sprewell. Green up for the block and a foul.
See, Allen Houston made a careless play there. He made a great steal, and he made a careless pass that was knocked down that prevented Sprewell from getting a layup. Now they pick up the loose ball, but A.C. Green comes back, and that's a good hard foul. Make him make a couple free throws. You don't want slashers and cutters getting a layup. You make them make jump shots.
Latrell Sprewell averaging a shade under 20 points a game. Allen Houston a shade over. I mention that because either of them could become the first Knick other than Patrick Ewing to average 20 points in a season in 15 years. You have to go back to Bernard King in 1985 to find a Knick who averaged 20 plus other than Ewing. Timeout with 7:45 to play in the first. Lakers off to a 9-3 lead.
A big NBA on NBC triple header. Next by Nike.
The Knicks trail by 6, and Patrick Ewing has had some great shots here early in the game. Remember, Shaquille O'Neal is going to make him make this shot. He lays off of him. Good look at it. He doesn't get it to go. Penetration, you see he's in the lane again. The wide open jump shot. He can't knock it down. Goes to Allen Houston, the little 12-footer. This is what I spoke to Jeff Van Gundy about with Ewing shooting.
I still think if we're going to win and he's going to play effectively against him, maybe unlike some other, I think he's got to make the jumper to set up the drive. I don't think he can drive to set up the jumper because the guy's not leaving the lane until he makes that shot. And maybe he misses. And if he misses, guess what? We're going home with a loss. But to get him out of the lane, he's going to have to make that shot.
Doug, is it a fair comparison to say that what Ewing has to do against Shaq is what Willis Reed used to try to do against Wilt?
Well, there's no question. I mean, because you've got to force that big guy to come out of the paint. Now, what that does is now Sprewell and Houston can get to the basket rather than live on the outside jump shot. So one opens up the whole game for the teammates.
Lakers and Knicks met in the NBA Finals. Reed and Chamberlain matching up in 70, 72, and 73. Charlie Ward reaching in on Kobe. 7 on the shot clock. Bryant has it back. Tried to go up with the shot, sandwiched by Houston and Sprewell, one of whom fouled it.
That's one of those fouls you'd like to have back. It's just that reaction when Kobe goes up, you reach in there with that hand. Sprewell has such quick hands, but he got him on the arm, and that's one you want to make Kobe try to make.
Foul is on Sprewell, his first. Bryant has 8 of the 10 Laker points. You can log on to NBA.com, where breaking news, real-time stats, and live radio broadcasts for every NBA game are only a mouse click away. It's also your destination for NBA.com TV's nightly highlight packages and streaming video of every game. NBA.com, your ultimate online resource for all things NBA. Charlie Ward around Harper. Johnson's pass deflected by Harper into the hands of Bryant. Now Harper's got it back, driving on Houston and hitting.
That's where Allen Houston's got to step up. He just opened up and allowed Harper to drive that ball to the basket. Allen has got to stop that ball and make them kick that thing out. That was way too easy.
Ron Harper has been a tremendous defensive presence in this first quarter. Sprewell's drive, and he finishes plus the foul.
Well, we've seen 3 plays already in this first period where he's gotten a deflection, a couple steals, a block shot. And this time he is the recipient of the break. But watch Allen Houston just sort of get out of his way and usher him to the basket. You cannot give Ron Harper those kind of easy layups.
Sprewell's three-point play makes it 13-7. Pressure in the backcourt. Harper gets it across.
Bob, this is where New York can bother L.A. Pressure the ball, force them to use some clock so that they can't use that triangle offense so well. But how about the combo there? The eye contact, the overplay. That time, Shaq with a lob to Kobe. These two guys are really in sync with one another.
In addition to everything else, O'Neal is averaging 4 assists a game. Houston. The rebound to A.C. Green.
No second shot opportunity. New York, one of the poor offensive rebounding teams in the NBA.
Ewing alone on Shaq. Out of bounds off New York.
Great eye contact. Now Shaquille O'Neal is going to square up. Kobe goes around him. Sprewell's going to overplay the reverse. The nice little touch pass that time. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it there where he can finish.
Shaq doesn't get the bounce. Ewing takes the rebound. Charlie Ward, good look at a 3.
Shoots over 40% from the three-point line, so you leave him that open, he's going to make that shot the majority of time.
Bryant with the fadeaway on Ward. Shaq on the offensive glass and a foul. It's Allen Houston's first.
See, when I talked to Jeff Van Gundy yesterday, one of the things he spoke to me about, Bob, also was Allen Houston and Latrell Sprewell must be better rebounders. They're both big, slashing kind of players. They've got to get back and rebound those long misses.
A.C. Green left alone and swishing it.
L.A., they're just so confident right now. They feel that whatever they want to do, that they can execute it right now, especially in the half court.
Sprewell. It comes up short, and Harper is alone under the rim. Rice had it poked away, and Johnson comes out of there with it. Here's Sprewell, catch and shoot. Way off with the 3. Shaq pegs it ahead for Harper, and he'll wait for his teammates. Kobe slashes to the hoop. Contact, no foul. And now a whistle blows as Sprewell ran into Shaq, and it's on O'Neal his first.
That's a good sign for New York in that they've created 5 turnovers here in this first period. We've only played about 7.5 minutes. But the difference is you've got to convert on some of those turnovers. It's one thing to get the ball, but you got to get something easy, and New York is not doing that right now. They're getting possession, but they're not converting.
Marcus Camby in for the Knicks. Larry Johnson out. New York has hit just 3 of its first 12 field goal attempts. And Sprewell makes it 4 of 13. Harper drives. O'Neal finishes.
He's got a shot there that he can't make. Somebody from New York comes over. Nobody blocks out Shaquille O'Neal. That's the first really easy basket that he's had. Most other basket he's had to work for.
Spree, double team. Ward again, wide open. Misses this 3-point attempt. And O'Neal, just a fraction behind Dikembe Mutombo for the league lead in rebounds, pulls that one down. His 4th rebound of this first quarter. Harper for 3. Another rebound for Shaq. And a fresh 24 for LA. Out of the double, he finds Rice. Way off, air ball. And New York will have it.
Now, Allen Houston did a nice job on that possession. He went back and helped on Shaq and then closed out on Glenn Rice, got a hand up and forced him to take a tough shot. So that was a good defensive sequence by Allen Houston.
Clock stops with 3:09 to play in the first. It's the Lakers by 7.
Ba, 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 ba.
In 2 blocks, they work it around here to Sean Elliott, who buries the 3. But the Heat also getting a big game from their big man, Alonzo Mourning. 4 for 5, 8 points, already has 4 rebounds. As we near the end of the first quarter, it's the Heat leading the Spurs 28-21. Miami coming in just a half a game ahead of the Knicks for the Atlantic Division lead, and they host New York next Sunday. Now back to L.A., Bob, Doug, and Ahmad.
Hannah, thanks very much. Up to the minute look at the scoring race. You would have thought a month or so ago that Iverson had his 2nd straight crown wrapped up, but Shaq has come on like gangbusters, including a 61-point outing on this floor against the Clippers.
Well, the month of March, he outscored him about 34-25, so about a 10-point differential in that month, which has really swung things around.
Sprewell's jumper isn't there. Iverson, by the way, had 23 today in a Sixer loss at Sacramento. Hold on, says Ted Bernhardt. And more on the subject of the scoring race. As the season began, it was Iverson establishing what seemed to be a safe lead. But look at what's happened in March.
You see about 34-25. That's really made it up. But, you know, I think the interesting thing is both of these guys' teams are winning and playing well. So scoring average to me is very important. It's like Michael Jordan winning the scoring title. His team is winning championships. Winning a scoring title and playing on a bad team to me doesn't mean anything. Both of these guys are playing well, and their teams are playing well, and I think that's critical.
The foul a moment ago was number 2 on Allen Houston. He goes out of the game, and Larry Johnson checks back in. Johnson, meanwhile, seems out of sync for the Knicks. He was just 2 of 9 Friday, scored 4 points against Vancouver. I mentioned that he was scoreless in 18 ineffective minutes 2 weeks ago at the Garden against the Lakers.
Well, it's almost like if he doesn't step out and shoot a 3-point shot, he's really gone away from his low post game. So he is really not even a factor looking at offense.
Nice pass from Camby to Ewing for the dunk.
Now, see, Patrick needed that. He'd gotten off to such a slow start, missed some wide open jump shots. Maybe that easy one will give him some confidence.
Lakers again by 7. As O'Neal receives the pass, another whistle. It's on Ewing, his first.
See, Canby gives you a different dimension. Quickness, he's 6'11". They tried to trap. He broke the press, dribbled it ahead, made the nice little simple play to Patrick Ewing. So this is why New York is excited. Canby is back, and he's bringing this off the bench. Bob, this is what we saw last year, especially against Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then against San Antonio when he played well, when he didn't get himself in foul trouble.
In late January, Shaquille O'Neal was shooting 45% for the season from the line. Although he misses that one, he shot 61% over the last 2.5 months.
And a big confidence builder last week against Sacramento, as you see the numbers through the year. But when he stepped up, made the dunk, and then walked to the line, the game was tied in Sacramento, one of the toughest places to play, and makes the critical free throw to win the game. How vital that was when you start thinking about playoffs.
Johnson backing in on Rice and getting the bounce.
Now see, what's happened here is Larry Johnson is being guarded by a small forward. He can post him up. So we'll see if they keep Glenn Rice on Larry Johnson.
Kobe tried to sneak that pass through the Shaq. The Knicks broke it up. The Lakers keep it.
Normally the other team puts the power forward on Larry Johnson and takes away his post game. Let's see if they keep Glenn Rice in that matchup. If so, they'll go right back to Larry Johnson.
Here's Chris Childs checking in, replacing Charlie Ward. Robert Horry into Shaq. The little baby hook no good, but Harper is there on the glass. Rice, the pull-up, good.
Feeling much better, Bobby. Had the flu, was sick last week, missed the game, did not play well against Philadelphia. Now he said he's got his legs back underneath him after a couple good practices. See, they moved Horry over on now to take the post up, so it'll be very difficult for him to score in this situation.
He brings it outside for Childs, and the three-pointer is good, just beating the 24-second clock.
See, I don't think Phil wants him to double team. With Horry playing Larry Johnson, play him straight up.
And now Glenn Rice and Patrick Ewing are going at it. And somewhere at the edge of the pack, Shaquille O'Neal waiting to play the ultimate enforcer.
And at the real edge of the pack, you and I are sitting away and watching this action.
We got double technical.
Just when a front row seat doesn't seem so appealing.
And Patrick Ewing. Okay, Patrick Ewing. Double technical.
A double technical. Ewing picks one up, and Ron Harper for the Lakers.
Now you can say, well, what's the big deal about a double technical? The big deal is one more and you're out of the game. So it looks like it's a nothing play, but the next one and you're ejected.
They get it deep to Shaq, and Ewing is powerless to stop it.
When he gets that deep, you have no chance to let him score because you can't get yourself in foul trouble this early in the game.
Canby to Johnson.
How about the two plays now Canby's made? On the break to Ewing, that time a little give and go to Larry Johnson.
Knicks to within 5. O'Neal, a little spin move for the dunk.
Easy for you to say, little spin move.
The spin move is the finesse, and the dunk is the power.
There you go.
Rice breaks it up, but can't control it.
It's going to be very difficult for Canby to enter that ball in the post. Glenn Rice is right back in Larry Johnson's lap because he knows Canby's not going to shoot the ball. So you get loose spacing when you have no outside shooting. That's what happens when Allen Houston goes out of the game.
10 on the shot clock. 24 seconds left in the quarter. Ewing, way short, air ball. He got O'Neal off his feet, but then he couldn't hit it.
Shaq wants that ball again. You see him bring that ball over to me.
Kobe's got it with 6 seconds. Working on Sprewell. 2 seconds. Tough shot. And that's it. This is fairly typical. Actually, proportionately, the Lakers have gotten less from those other than O'Neal and Bryant in some other games.
You see him give him a little shot in the back there. The ball's going to go in the basket. And then as they squared themselves up as the ball was going down the floor, Harper and Ewing were just talking to each other. I think really what happened was Glenn Rice came in and made this really worse than it was. There's a little push right there. Double technicals, Harper on Patrick Ewing. So that looked a lot worse than it was simply by Glenn Rice coming over there and sort of, getting his 2 cents in, Bob.
And shortly after that, Rice and Patrick Ewing off camera shook hands, patched it up. Harper on the bench now as the second quarter begins. Brian Shaw is in for the Lakers.
A couple stats that jump out in the first quarter. Patrick Ewing 1 of 6. He had the 1 dunk, was 0 for 5 on any kind of jump shooting. And LA 15-5 rebounding. No offensive rebounds for New York, so they're shooting very poorly and getting no second shots.
Here's Camby bouncing it to Johnson, who's guarded by Rick Fox. Ori over to help. Camby into the paint, blocked by O'Neal. Recovered by Thomas. The Knicks still have it, and Childs cans the jumper again, just barely beating the shot clock.
Bob, there's a misconception that New York is not a good shooting team. That is not true. They just don't take many shots a game because they use the clock. But they're 4th in three-point shooting, 4th in free throw percentage, and 9th in field goal percentage. They're one of the best shooting teams in the league.
Kobe Bryant circles back out, then unleashes the jumper. It's off, and Johnson has it.
Now it's going to be up to Kurt Thomas. He's got to hit the jump shot.
He's got it from Childs. It's in and out. Bryant around Sprewell. Cut off by Thomas, who fouled him.
That's an electric matchup when you put Sprewell and Kobe Bryant matched up against each other. 2 slashing, cutting, active players. Little isolation there on the left side. Kobe's going to step up. Sprewell goes for the steal, loses his position, and then it opens up a lane, and Kurt Thomas has to come over to prevent the layup.
Has 12 Thursday night on NBC after Friends. Be sure to catch the newest must-see comedy, Daddy-O. The hot new family comedy that's got all of America talking. Daddy-O, must-see TV Thursday right after Friends on NBC. Sprewell out. Allen Houston back in for the Knicks. Johnson against Fox, who reached in and poked it away.
Got great hands. You put that ball down at your waist, Rick Fox will knock that ball loose.
Robert Horry. Brian Shaw. And it eludes Horry, taken by Johnson.
See, New York's got to convert this now. Another turnover force. They've got to get some points here.
Camby leaning in. It comes up short. Thomas couldn't handle it. Shaw does. Thomas trying to contend with O'Neal. Good luck.
Keep him out of the paint and make him be a shot maker. As many times as you can prevent him from laying the ball in or dunking it, at least you've got a chance, Bob, to defend it.
And if he's going to make the one he just made, forget it.
Exactly right.
Houston out to Johnson, who thought about a 3. Gives it back to Houston. His shot partially blocked, and Shaw takes it out of there for L.A. Here's Horry on the wing, back to Shaw in the lane, and a whistle.
Well, Kobe Bryant did a great job on Allen Houston. Allen drove and he spun, and Kobe gets up and gets a piece of it. That's why I think he's first-team all-league defense this year. Lakers right now lead by 9.
Foul was on Camby. It was his first.
And by NetZero, defenders of the free world. Free internet access forever.
The Lakers lead by 9, and for the moment, Kurt Thomas giving away at least 4 inches and somewhere around 90 to 100 pounds, trying to contend with Shaquille O'Neal and gaining at least the sympathy of official Ron Garrettson.
All the power to you. It must be like moving a semi, or at least just trying to hold your ground. Thanks, Bob.
Maybe more like a diesel, huh?
Now you can say, why is Kurt Thomas playing Shaq and maybe not Chris Dudley or Andrew Lang? Bob, the reason is they can give them some defense, but the problem is when you play 4-on-5 and Shaq doesn't have to play anybody offensively, then there's no place for your offensive people to go. So he has to have a guy out on the floor that he respects, that he at least has to be able to make a shot.
Robert Horry, his first shot of this game, knocked around and into O'Neal's hands, and he can't hit. Robert Horry played 24 minutes Friday night against Philadelphia without taking a shot. So he's settled into a somewhat different role these days with the Lakers. Camby against Shaq. Misses over him. Fox takes the rebound.
But you see how quick Camby shot it. He knew Shaq was there. Just his presence forced him to miss the shot.
Shaq against Thomas. Banked it high and couldn't hit it.
Looked like Camby might have come over and got a little piece of that one.
Chris Childs. No luck on that one. Halfway down, popped out. O'Neal against Thomas. Camby coming over to help and fouling Shaq.
Got to get there a little bit quicker because when Shaq wheels in there, you just don't have the size to be able to D him up. So you've got to get there sooner.
20-second timeout.
The Knicks take a 20-second timeout, trailing by 9, 8:07 to play in the half. The Inside Stuff co-hosts Ahmad Rashad and Summer Sanders take the show on the road to Portland. Damon Stoudemire will be among their guests. That's Inside Stuff from Portland next Saturday. Check your local listings for the time in your area. And with more, here's Ahmad.
Thanks, Bob. Damon Stoudemire will not be the only guest on Inside Stuff. I'm going to make every effort to give every player on the Portland Trailblazer team a starring role in Inside Stuff next. That's what I'm going to do. And plus, I look forward to going home because, you know, Portland, that's my place up there.
All those Ducks will be waddling upon your return.
Go Ducks.
I'm looking forward to the Bonzi Wells segment. I want him to be half the show.
I think the Ducks lost to the Seton Hall Pirates in the tournament. Ahmad hadn't even talked about that yet, so we'll leave that alone.
Your son Chris, the former Duke star, assisting Tommy Amaker at Seton Hall these days. The lead goes to 11. And a whistle at the other end.
You know, Bob, it's sort of amazing. You know, right now, Knicks trail by only 11, but Allen Houston 2 points, Patrick Ewing 2. So 2 of their top 3 scorers right now have not been able to dent this defense. When I talked to Phil Jackson, he said, we are going to really try to focus to take one of them out of the game. Here's Allen Houston finally getting a jumper to go. But he said, we've got to take one of their top 3 scorers out of the game. First time they played, Ewing was 6 for 20.
Little pressure in the backcourt. The Lakers break it, and here's Fisher. Into Shaq, who has now hit 3 of 4 free throws in this first half. Spinning on Thomas and laying it in.
Now, the first one was a little spin. That one was a quick, big spin. He buckled Kurt Thomas's ankles that time. He went down on the floor as Shaq laid that ball in the basket.
And O'Neal has 15. Fisher knocked it out of bounds. Fisher's minutes, field goal percentage, scoring average have all fallen since the All-Star game. In fact, you've got to go back to January 19th to find the last time Derek Fisher scored as many as 10 points in a game, and they're hoping to get him back on track by the playoffs. Meanwhile, all they're hoping is that Shaq continues to do whatever it is he's been doing. games in a season in which they endured a stretch where they lost 6 of 9. When their 16-game winning streak was snapped at Indiana, they then lost 6 of 9. When their 19-game winning streak ended at Washington, they proceeded to win 8 in a row. That's the big difference, and they're on that streak right now, looking for 9 against the Knicks and leading here by 11.
Well, as we look into the possible playoff pictures, there's a great chance that the Lakers might meet the San Antonio Spurs in the second round if both of them can win their first-round matchups and things stay the way they are. San Antonio and the Lakers play each other 2 more times. They play next Saturday on NBC. Bob, you and I will be here. And then the last game of the season at San Antonio. San Antonio playing better right now, so they could be on a little collision course there. Phoenix is playing very well right now, but that home court could be interesting with Phoenix and San Antonio.
Regardless of the standings, a lot of observers believe that if anybody can derail the Lakers, it would be San Antonio in the West.
Well, they've got size, and they've got big guys that at least can cause a little bit of a problem for Shaquille. Not many guys can throw a Tim Duncan and a David Robinson at him, and you saw what happened last year in the playoffs. They'd like to get another chance this year.
After Ori's second foul and Camby's 2 free throws, Fox comes back and drills a 3.
Now, remember when I was talking about Derek Fisher maybe getting some playing time if Harper sits down? That's what happened to Rick Fox. Rice didn't play a couple games. He got to start, got his rhythm back. Now he's shooting the ball well.
Houston over Kobe, and he answers with a 3-pointer of his own.
How pretty is that? Allen Houston gets just a little daylight. He elevates so nicely on that jump shot.
O'Neal passes out of the double to Ori. 6 on the shot clock. Bryant the lob into Shaq, who scores.
Boy, did Chris Childs get an elbow right in the jaw. He tried to come over and double team off the front, and Shaq spun and cracked him right in the jaw.
Houston on the move and hitting the jumper, beginning to heat up now.
He loves the top of the floor there where he can go either right or left and pull up and shoot that jump shot. That is where he is most lethal.
Houston has 9. Ori against Camby. Into a pack of blue shirts and a foul.
Now, Allen Houston loves to isolate, and what I mean by that, he does not want a lot of congestion. He wants space. He doesn't want to run screen roll, so he gives a lot of opportunity to square up and shoot that jump shot. Next time he gets it at the top of the floor, Kobe sends him left, which is the way Allen likes to go. He likes to take 2 dribbles, pull back, and shoot that jump shot. Now, Sprewell is a guy who will play screen and roll. Allen does not like that kind of congestion where a guy jumps out at him. He wants to be more of a one-on-one player where he has a lot of room to work.
The foul which sent Ori to the line was number 2 on Kurt Thomas. Ori reacting with disgust as he misses the first.
And, you know, Bob, when I coached Allen, he taught me that about him. You know, as a coach, you think you're going to put some good stuff in or whatever. And we were playing in the playoffs in Orlando his first year with me, and he said, Coach, I don't like a lot of screens. I don't want a space to work or whatever. So that's when your player talks to you about what he likes to get accomplished out on the floor.
Patrick Ewing is back in. Larry Johnson out for Jeff Van Gundy's Knicks. Lakers by 10. Here's Childs, got a screen from Thomas and knew what to do with it.
See, they're starting to shoot the ball much better now, getting a nice rhythm. Allen Houston making some shots, also Chris Childs.
Here's Brian Shaw. It spun out for him. Rebound Ewing. Ewing fires and gets it to go.
Good shooting is contagious, isn't it? Guys start missing, looks like everybody misses. Guys start making some shot, that basket looks real big.
O'Neal wants to answer. He stampedes right over Ewing. And the foul is on Patrick.
It's the first jumper that Patrick has made. He did it in rhythm. He just turned, shot the little jump shot, didn't think about it. And then he comes back on the other end and deep post position by Shaquille. You see him posted in the lane. And I think if there's anything through his career that Patrick has lost is that lateral movement. He used to be very good at sliding across that lane. And Bob, it's very difficult after rupturing that Achilles tendon for him to make that quick move laterally.
O'Neal is now 3 of 5 at the free throw line. The foul on Ewing was his second. Patrick has shot 2 of 7 from the floor, and only 1 jumper has gone for him. That was a moment ago. Prior to that, his only field goal was a dunk. Fox rebounds, so even though Shaq missed them both, the Lakers retain it.
Now, even though Shaq's shooting better at the line, when he shoots free throws, you got to block out. You cannot lose your concentration.
Fox. And off the miss, it's Ewing. Childs quickly back into Thomas, who lost it. And Brian Shaw comes out of the pack for Los Angeles. Ball loose, recovered by the Lakers into Bryant for the reverse slam.
One of the reasons New York doesn't run a lot is because of that last play that just happened. Jeff Van Gundy feels like when they fast break, they have a tendency to make mistakes. Childs tries to force a pass to Thomas, can't get it there, turn it over, so instead of making it a 4-point game, it goes back to 8. Kobe Bryant's going to pick up this loose ball, or he's going to find Kobe, and just how easy, just a 2-hand reverse stuff.
Kobe has 15, Shaq 17.
We'll have Kobe's story at halftime. Let's head back to Los Angeles now and rejoin Bob, Doug, and Ahmad.
Lakers lead by 8, 3:55 to go in the second quarter, and Jeff Van Gundy spoke to his team the last time out about not blocking off the free throw line.
When O'Neal's shooting a free throw, we got to be more alert, right? We're shooting ourselves in the foot right now, right? We're shooting ourselves in the foot. We're not blocking out. We're consistently not doing what we need to down here. If we did, this game would be even or we'd be ahead.
Also turn to the
Our awareness has to be heightened.
Let's see how heightened their awareness is as they put it back in play. Trailing by 8. Childs tried to go to the reverse, had it shoved back in his face. John Sally is on the floor now. You saw Shaq on the bench a moment ago. This is a stretch where the Knicks would hope to cut into an 8-point deficit. Sally builds it to 10 instead.
Where'd that come from? I haven't seen that all season. Long John Sally comes in. First time he touches it, it's about a 17-footer.
Man. Houston against Kobe, over him, and hits it again. Now remember, in Kobe Bryant, you're talking about a tremendous defender. Gary St. Jean, the coach of the Warriors, says he's the best off-guard defensive player in the NBA right now.
He's got my vote. I couldn't agree with him more.
Now Ewing comes up on Sally. And so it'll be Fox for 3.
Now how about this? You're resting Shaquille O'Neal. You think maybe you got a chance to make a push. John Sally hits a jumper, they kick out, and Rick Fox hits a 3. 5 points from your bench there that really helps you rest Shaquille O'Neal.
And the lead is 11. It stays there, and off the miss, Ori has it. Shaw with the lob to Bryant. And a foul on the play. It's on Chris Childs of the Knicks.
Say New York will really rue this moment here if they allow John Sally to come in and hit this jump shot and then Rick Fox to follow it up with a 3 instead of cutting into this deficit. If they're allowed to build this lead with Shaquille O'Neal resting during this period of time, that would be very, very bad right now for New York as Shaquille's getting ready to come back in the ball game. So just a very short rest before halftime.
Sally out. He made a contribution in a very brief stint. And Shaq back in. "17 points and 7 assists for Kobe Bryant in this first half now. Lakers up by 13. Ewing finding finding Camby.
That Camby's so active. He did such a good job working behind his man. The guy turned to double team the basketball, and he just cut right to the basket. And a very good pass by Patrick.
O'Neal out to Shaw. Now he has it right back. Triple teamed, finds Fox for three. Way short. Loose ball bounces to Ewing. Inside 2 minutes to play in the half. Charlie Ward gives it up to Camby. Shaq swats it out of there. He had 8 blocks Friday against the 76ers. He has 3 in this first half against the Knicks. Double teamed, scores anyway.
That was a great shot. Patrick Ewing on one shoulder, Camby coming on the other, and he just turned and kissed that ball off the glass. That is a big-time shot there, Bob.
O'Neal set the tone for this game by blocking Ewing's first shot. The first shot of the whole game for the Knicks. And now Shaq has scored 19. Sprewell had it knocked away and out of bounds. And even though the Knicks keep it, it's another indication of the kind of defense, team defense, these Lakers play. It was Shaw that time.
Well, the rangy guards, I mean, you talk about Shaw, Kobe, Harper, these guys who can come in from behind you and deflect your shot when you think you have them beat.
Ewing given room by Shaq. Can't hit it. Long rebound picked up by Bryant. Off Shaq's hands, and on the turnover, it goes to the Knicks.
Big smile there from Shaquille and Kobe. They knew that Patrick was in the backcourt, and Phil Jackson saw that little smile that he likes to give there. He knows his team is in a commanding position right now, but a good play there. Shaq just couldn't handle it.
Ewing again. In and out. He's 2 for 9 in this game. Shaw's pass finds O'Neal, who'll be coming to the line. With the Lakers now up 15.
Shaq has not gotten a lot of easy baskets, and this is probably his most difficult of the game, but he just wheels in there and shoots that hook off the glass. And then Brian Shaw with a nice give and go, the little touch foul, and Shaquille now with the opportunity to finish up the three-point play, which he gets with 38 seconds to go here, Bob. Will New York look to go 2 for 1, or will they try to get a good possession here?
Shaq has 22 points to Patrick Ewing's 4. Sprewell had it poked away from behind, and they're going to call a foul on Fox.
You look up at that halftime scoreboard as we got 30 seconds to go, and LA has 56 points against one of the premier defensive teams in the NBA. That's like a 112-point pace. New York is on like an 80-point pace. We talked about if they could get 90, maybe they could win. Well, they're going to have some kind of defensive second half.
Ewing brings it out to Ward, and now Sprewell. Charlie Ward for 3. Tip try, no good by Camby. The last shot should belong to the Lakers. O'Neal bounces off Ewing and hits.
Bob, he's making shots today. These aren't dunks and layups.
24 points in the half for O'Neal to Ewing's 4. LA ends the half on a 7-0 run, looking for their 9th consecutive win, and their 28th in their last 29 games, just rampaging through the NBA, and in most cases toying with even the better teams in the league.
But when you look at the half, Patrick Ewing had maybe some easier shots than Shaq. He couldn't finish them, and Shaq just put on a clinic on how to play the post.
Here's Ahmad with Kobe.
All right, thanks, Bob. Kobe, I know one of the things going into this game is your focus was to shut down one of the top 3 scorers in the Knicks. You feel like you've done a good job on that?
I feel like we're doing a pretty good job, but we want to shut down both of them. just for the pure challenge of it. I think we're doing a pretty good job right now, but we still have a long way to go in the second half.
Adjustments that you might make in the second half?
Well, it's tough to say right now. I think right now we're doing a pretty good job. We had a couple of middle lapses where I think they scored about 13 straight points. But other than that, our defense has been pretty solid.
So when Shaq gave you that high five running down the court, did that hurt your hand?
A little bit. I got to be careful. I jammed my right knuckle, so Shaq got big hands, so you got to be careful with that.
All right, good luck in the second half. All right, back to you, Bob.
58-40. The Lakers over the Knicks. Shaq with 24, Kobe with 17. Stay tuned for Hannah Storm, the Czar, Mike Fratello, and Peter Bessie in our New York studio with Net Zero at the half. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Ewing fakes the pass, pumps the shot, and the second half starts badly for him.
He's now 2 for 10. He and Sprewell combined are 4 of 16. So the three best players, three best offensive players, Allen Houston had 11. The other two really just couldn't get it going.
Rice. It spins out. Johnson has it. 2 for 10 is Ewing in this game. He's got this one and hits the reverse. No, he doesn't. Can't get it done. And Bryant takes it. On the wing, Harper. And Ewing wins the rebound battle. Sprewell pulls up and misses. Out of bounds, the Knicks will keep it. In 2 games now against the Lakers, Ewing is a combined 8 for 31.
Well, he thinks he's got a layup as he's going to the basket. At the last minute, Shaquille comes in and bothers his shot. So right now, nothing easy for New York.
And the crowd thinks he walked.
Well, Ted Bernard said he juggled that ball. And Patrick says, thank you. I needed that layup.
Man.
Bob, this man is 300-plus pounds. He just spun in there, and the little soft flip shot in the lane going to his left. I mean, he's showing us the whole package today.
He's got 26. Ewing fakes left, pulls up in the lane. It's short. Knicks have it back. Houston. A collision and a foul, and it will go against the Lakers. It's Harper's first.
Every time he catches this ball deep in the paint, there's nothing Patrick can do. But watch the finesse move, the little up and under with the left hand. And, you know, Bob, a while ago you were talking about Patrick and Shaquille. Shaquille is so dominant this year, but I think when you look at the centers in the East, Patrick is still amongst the best of them. But to compare him with Shaq right now, no contest.
Sport utility vehicles and minivans. And by the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's?
Let's call the roll of celebrities in attendance in Los Angeles today. Jay-Z rooting for the Knicks. Dr. Dre for the Lakers. New Yorker John McEnroe can't be happy. Always a high anxiety level for Richard Lewis, and as a Knicks fan, he feels even worse. He was there with Penny Marshall and John Lovitz, Diane Cannon, a Laker regular, Adam Sandler in attendance, Rachel Hunter looking on, David Spade of NBC's Just Shoot Me, and Denzel Washington with Spike Lee. Denzel, of course, was Malcolm X for Spike. Renewing acquaintances. Denzel's smile seemed broader than Spike's. Spike, a bi-coastal Knicks fan, and his team trails 60-44. Larry Johnson against A.C. Green. All kinds of moves, no result.
See, it's very difficult for him to post up another power forward, Bob. But when he had a little success in the first half, it's when he posted up a small forward. And that's the problem Larry Johnson has. He's an undersized player at that position.
Shaq, from about 12 feet, he misses. Houston from Ewing, foul before the shot. It's offensive. It goes against the Knicks, and it's Ewing's third.
Well, Patrick made a nice play, but as he turned, he set an illegal screen, freeing up Allen Houston. And Jeff Van Gundy saying to the referees, that's okay if you want to call that, then call this one down on this end also when the Lakers run that little pinch post play at the free throw line.
Bryant from Shaq. Ewing rebounds. Houston with 9 on the shot clock to Sprewell. against Bryant, ducks inside of him, and Ewing follows and connects.
Sprewell missed the easy one, but that time Shaq did not block Patrick off. So now Patrick has 3 field goals, all 3 of them layups. He's still got to be able to make that jump shot.
Shaq with a nice look for Rice, but it's broken up.
Right here, man.
12 on the shot clock. Lakers by 14. We've played 4 minutes of the second half. They led by 18 at halftime. Shaq trying to find Harper, knocked away and into the hands of Ewing. Off Ewing's hands and out of bounds, and the Lakers, I believe, will have it back. The officials confer, and they do give it to Los Angeles.
So you play good defense, and then you have a little unforced error. Charlie Ward turns the ball over, and again, when I talked to Jeff Van Gundy yesterday, one of the reasons why they don't do a lot of running is he doesn't feel like they have a good conversion rate. They don't make good decisions. They're better off running a half-court play.
Shaq bouncing off Ewing, and the shot bounces off the rim.
The Lakers here are allowing New York to hang around. They're not knocking them out because I think they've lost a little concentration. If New York can make a little flurry, they might be able to get back in this game.
Houston operating on Rice. Almost impossible shot. Rice rebounds. Kobe Bryant. Harper with 10 on the shot clock. Bryant off the dribble, lets it go. Air ball. Knicks have it.
New York's defense has been excellent in this period. The baskets that Shaq has made, he's been pushed off the block. He had the one little finger roll. Derek Fisher's going to step into the game right now for Kobe, and I think what Phil is unhappy with is a couple shots there that Kobe took. And what he's done all season long is he set Kobe down in those situations, talked to him, and then brought him right back.
LA is 1 for 8 in the third quarter. Here's Ward for 3. Harper off balance, no. Here comes Houston. They've got a 4-on-1. Fisher's the only man back. Sprewell finishes it.
And that was nice by Allen. He made Fisher step up and stop the ball. Got Sprewell the easy basket.
But the Lakers come right back. Since there were 4 Knicks and only 1 Laker at the offensive end, it reversed at the defensive end for New York, and the Lakers got the 2 right back.
Well, see, Sprewell laid the ball in the basket. When he did, Glenn Rice is being guarded by him. He just sprinted out, and no one covered him.
Ewing deals outside to Ward, and Charlie Ward puts it down. His second three-pointer, accounting for all his scoring, 6 points.
Jeff Van Gundy's telling his team, guys, just hang in there. You know, we get a 4 or 5 point surge here. We're back to 6 or 7 point game.
O'Neal, that little hop into the lane, but his jumper is short. And Ewing gives the Knicks possession. Sprewell slashes to the basket, but can't finish. Ewing does.
That's 2 great plays now by Patrick. Going right to the basket, and Bob, I said it wrong. He's got 1 jump shot and 4 layups, so he has 5 field goals in the game. But 2 great follow-up plays there by Patrick.
They've cut their halftime deficit in half. They were down 18. They've outscored the Lakers 13-4 in the third. Shaq puts an end to that.
Oh, my.
With the left hand, no less.
A left finger roll from about 8 feet.
And he has 28. A point shy of his league-leading average. Knocked away from Sprewell by Harper. Knicks keep it.
Patrick Ewing has got a lot of pride. He might have been slowed down by injuries and age, but the guy is going to compete. He makes the great follow-up there, and he's working so hard on Shaquille. He hasn't gotten many dunks or layups, but he's made these kind of shots, jump hooks, finger rolls all day long. to get his 30 points today, but they have not been the kind where you just jump up and lay the ball in the basket, Bob.
Camby in, Johnson out for the Knicks. Houston lets fly. Line drive rebound to Sprewell. Here's Ewing. He's got Harper on him, and Harper fouled him. That's Ron's second. So Ewing, coming alive in this third quarter, goes to the free throw line with a chance to bring his team back to within 9 if he hits them both. Next Saturday in prime time, we're back with NBA action beginning at 8:30 Eastern. Tim Duncan, David Robinson, and the NBA champion Spurs facing the team looking to take their crown, these Lakers. That's a Saturday edition of the NBA on NBC in prime time next Saturday, 8:30 Eastern.
Tim Duncan might be playing the best basketball he's played all season. Sean Elliott is back, which is a big shot in the arm for San Antonio. And David Robinson getting his legs. So they play twice before this season's over. Could be very interesting if they match up in the second round.
O'Neal over Ewing. The bank is closed, but Green is there. And A.C. Green was fouled as he went up with the follow.
Well, A.C. Green just sort of threw Marcus Camby out of that play. You got to come up with that rebound. You're making a push. You get it to 9. You get that, maybe get a three-point play. But again, how many times have we seen Patrick keep him away from the basket? That's a tough shot. And A.C. Green finds the offensive rebound and gets fouled.
When A.C. Green's consecutive game streak began in November of 1986, George Bush was president.
I'm not going to ask how old you were then, Coach.
86? The answer is not all that encouraging.
And the fact that I'm older, I should be more depressed, right?
A whistle as A.C. Green attempted the second shot. Lane violation on the Lakers, so they take the second free throw away. It's a 10-point game. Sprewell into traffic, out to Ward for 3. Ewing battling on the offensive glass, but it's Harper who controls it by tapping it to Rice.
Have you noticed Shaq is not blocking him out, and Patrick's getting a running start. That's almost the third one he tipped in.
O'Neal.
Nothing Patrick can do with that. I want to tell you, Bob, Patrick has not done that bad a job on Shaq. I know you're going to laugh at me and say, oh, the guy's got 30-plus points, but he is not making life easy. Shaq is just playing great.
Shaq with 30 on the nose. Ewing has a dozen. Jump hook. Can't make it 14. A.C. Green is there to take it. Inside 3 minutes to play in the third. Shaq. And he was fouled. He takes a tumble. None the worse for it.
What a weapon when you can go to this man in the post. He works so hard in there to get deep low post position, and that jump hook that he's becoming so good at, kissing that ball off the glass.
The foul was on Marcus Camby.
He seems to be the odds-on choice for MVP, but Phil Jackson says you can never tell until the voting. He says he once coached a guy who was probably the greatest player ever, and there were times he didn't win the MVP, even during championship seasons. Now, when Phil was asked to explain Shaq's dominance this season, Phil said, obviously, it's the triangle offense. Bob?
Or something.
And I think a lot of it has to do, first of all, Phil has done a great job of getting Kobe and Shaq to not only play well together, but to thrive and really feed off of each other and bring out the best in each other. And that's been such a key for this team. Also, Shaquille O'Neal is healthy. Last year and the year before, he suffered with an abdominal pull that really forced him to lower up his rebounding and his ability to slide laterally. His shot blocking is up, his rebounding is up. His confidence is sky high.
He makes them both here. He's made 6 of 9 at the line. He scored 32 points. The Lakers may have taken the Knicks' best punch in this third quarter. The lead is back to 14. Larry Johnson. Now Childs for three. Well, they hang on the edge of contention here.
With Childs and Ward, they'll make shots. It's such a luxury for New York because you don't expect those guys to look for their offense. But any double teams on Sprewell and Houston frees them up for a lot of open shots.
Rice, his three is overshot. Childs grabs the rebound. Camby finding Johnson.
So that's Marcus Camby. He was the fourth man down on the break, and just his sprinting and being able to catch the ball, going full speed and drop it off for an assist, well, right back to 9.
Ron Harper off the dribble, leans in and banks it in.
Well, how often have we seen this year where he comes up with a big play, a big basket at the right time just to stem the tide?
Back to a double-digit lead at 71-60. Johnson, a whistle as he tries to find Camby. The foul is on Rice, and that's number 1.
Ron Harper gets at that angle and uses that backboard, makes the shot much easier to give his team an 11-point lead. And we talk about, Bob, you talked earlier in the telecast about probably going to go on the injured list here real soon to rest those legs going into the playoff, which should help Derek Fisher get back in the swing of things.
Allen Houston bumps off Bryant but misses the J. Kobe chases it down. Meanwhile, Sprewell, who's on the bench right now for the Knicks, has been relatively quiet in this game. They could use something from him in the fourth quarter. Rice put it behind the back and nearly lost it. Shaq has it. His jumper is short.
Oh,
and now a fight breaks out between Kobe Bryant and Chris Childs.
Chris Childs punched him twice.
And Kobe is hot. It takes 2 officials to restrain him. Now Ewing is jawing with Shaq. Assistant coach Don Chaney off the Knick bench to try and separate them. A.C. Green, a cooler head, a veteran, pushing Shaq away. Of course, it takes a cavalry to actually do that.
Well, Chris Childs got 2 punches in there, and then Kobe threw a punch afterwards. So they were talking, Bob. I saw him off the ball, and then Chris Childs threw 2 quick punches at him.
Kobe Bryant being restrained by Ron Harper and assistant coach Jim Clemens. And this isn't one of these deals where guys are just pointing at each other. If they could, if they weren't restrained, they want to get back at each other right now.
Well, let's see what happens here. There's a bump here. Just keep watching these guys. Little shove there. Childs shoves him. They talk. Now watch Childs. He's going to hit him with the head. The little bump there. And boom, boom. 2 quick punches. And then Kobe throws a couple. So there'll be suspensions here.
In fairness, after the headbutt by Childs, Kobe threw a forearm up in the area of the neck. And then the 2 punches by Childs.
Absolutely. But there'll be suspensions here.
They'll both surely be tossed. Kobe played 29 minutes, had 17 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. Childs was having a good game, 10 points in 13 minutes off the bench, 4 of 6 from the floor.
Again, all this is going on off the ball. You're going to see Shaq has got the ball, and Childs and Kobe locked up here with one another. Here Childs is talking, the little shove. They get up at each other, little headbutt there by Childs. You're going to see this little headbutt right there. Kobe with the elbow up in his chest, and then 2 quick punches. Boom, boom. And then Kobe comes back and throws a couple. So the league rule automatically, Bob, with that is anytime a punch is thrown, it's a suspension.
Childs and Bryant, double technical, both ejected.
Yeah, the important thing here also, Bob, was, you know, did guys leave the bench area? We talked about guys get out there on the floor in the bench area, and then you have to sort through that also. Well, let's see if the benches stay where they're supposed to stay. And you see the coaches all pointing. You see Don Chaney as he was walking out telling his guy to stay back. The other assistant, Tommy Thibodeau, making sure the players don't get out on the floor. And then the Lakers coach is doing a good job. That's a great job by the assistant coaches to do what they're supposed to do in that time. The head coaches are going to come out and try to help as best they can. But the assistant coaches, that was an excellent job.
Very often, tempers will flare, and then just as quickly, things cool down. You can tell that is not the case here. If these two guys could, and I'm only reporting what appears to be a fact, I'm not attempting to incite it in any way. If these two guys could, they would get right back at each other right now.
Oh, no question. Kobe, I've never seen him that upset. You see Chris Childs right now not quite as upset as he walks off, but Kobe was livid. I think he felt like that when he got his elbow down there, and he did get his elbow in the neck of Chris Childs. I think he felt that Chris Childs punched him real quick there without him getting an opportunity to defend himself. So wasn't happy about that.
Now Jeff Van Gundy is hot. And I'm not 100% sure why.
He's doing what he's trying to do with his team. He's fighting for his team right now. They're down 11 as we end this third period.
Here's Glenn Rice over Camby. Just a step inside the line. It was a 2.
It's always the best answer. 2 points. Now you got a violation here on New York. I don't know if Larry Johnson stepped over the line or if maybe they've had to call a timeout to try to get the ball in.
So a further chance for things to cool down here. 30 seconds to play in the third. Lakers by 13.
He's got Zagat.
Is that while Childs and Bryant are going at it, Shaq misses the shot. Houston will grab the rebound. And he believed it should have been Knicks' ball following the altercation when they finally put the ball back in play. But the officials decided that they had blown the whistle, spotting the beginnings of the fight between Bryant and Childs before the shot, and therefore possession had not changed hands. So they gave the ball to the Lakers when play resumed. A moment ago, Larry Johnson, unable to get the ball in bounds, simply asked for time, so the Knicks have it back. And they bring it to the front court. Last 15 seconds of the quarter. 6 on the shot clock. It'll be Houston. Lakers have to hurry here. 5 seconds to get off a shot. Shaw to Harper. Rice is open. Beats the buzzer. And ups the lead with a 3 out of the corner to 16 points. They led by 18 at the half. The Knicks closed to within 9. And with a flurry just before the end of the quarter, it's back. Well, they had posted it as a 3, and now they took a point off. And now listed it at 75-60, so it's back to 15. Back after these words from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Of our audience. Any retransmission, reproduction, rebroadcast, or other dissemination or use of this telecast, or of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
The best that can be said for the way that quarter ended from the Knicks perspective is that they changed the last shot by Rice from a 3 to a 2, but it's still a 15-point game. The reason Kobe Bryant appeared to be the more upset of the two as he and Childs were escorted out is quite simply that Kobe took the 2 shots on the chin and never got to get a lick in return.
Well, you know, in basketball, there's a lot of jawing that goes on because the fines are so heavy anytime you throw a punch. So a lot of times guys get together. I don't think he expected Childs to throw those 2 punches. And so what he did, he reacted. And the hardest thing to do is not to throw that punch back when you've been cracked a couple times in the jaw. But, you know, that's well, let's have to see what happens with the suspensions, Bob.
How about that look from Shaq to Brian Shaw underneath? And it's back to a 17-point lead. Larry Johnson left alone for 3. And he has 11. Which is 11 more than he scored the last time these two teams played in New York. Rice is bumped and fouled. That's number 5 on Marcus Camby.
We had our open, and we talked about a couple keys for New York. Was going to be Patrick Ewing having to make that jump shot. Bob, any scoring he's done today has been on an offensive rebound or something close to the basket. Really only hit one jump shot. The other was Jeff Van Gundy said, we have to create some turnovers to be able to get some easy baskets. After the third quarter, they had forced 7 turnovers that had resulted in 2 points. They're getting nothing easy against this great Laker defense. It's tough to play half-court basketball against them.
Shaq against Thomas. Did everything but drop, but Ori is there to follow. LA by 16. Charlie Ward was fouled. That's number 3 on Ron Harper. Something that's often overlooked about the Lakers, as people try to defend Shaquille O'Neal primarily, they pick up all kinds of fouls. Laker opponents have fouled out 38 times this year. The Lakers themselves have only 10 disqualifications. Here's Ward. Rejected by O'Neal.
Well, see what that happens too with that is when he draws fouls on other opponents, what he does is he puts the other free throw shooters on the line too. So you foul early in that period, all of a sudden Kobe, Glenn Rice, these other guys get to the line shooting free throws because Shaq has put them in the penalty.
After that block, it wound up in the hands of John Wallace, making his first appearance, and the former Syracuse star hit the jumper to make it 79-65. Then he commits the foul at the other end.
Now watch this pass. They might kick this right back to Glenn Rice for a 3 if he throws this ball up in the air to Shaq.
Here is Rice from Shaq. Didn't I hear that just a moment ago? O'Neal picks up another assist to go with 32 points. Wallace over Ori. And Wallace hits 2 in a row upon coming off the bench.
Now, he played very well when Camby was hurt. He got into a nice rhythm, and he's a very good offensive player. What Jeff Van Gundy needs from him now is the ability to defend and rebound a little bit.
How about this from Harper, who complains he was fouled, gets no satisfaction there. But the Knicks ask for time, trailing 83-67. New York is 45-27 for the year. They've won 3 out of 4 on this trip. This is a pretty good team. The Lakers are a very good team.
By Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Adidas. Long live sport.
This is the Lakers' last regular season game against an Eastern Conference opponent. If they hold on and win this one, they'll finish the year 27-3, the best record ever by a Western Conference team against the East. They haven't lost at home against an Eastern opponent since the Raptors beat them in November, and they lost road games at Indiana and Washington. This is the remaining schedule. If they win out, they win 70 for the year.
But could come down to that last game at San Antonio. That could be very interesting, wouldn't it? If that would be 70, Phil would have 2 70-plus win teams, 72-10 in Chicago and 70-12 here. What an amazing accomplishment. But he knows, Bob, through all that, 70 wins is nice, but he will be gauged on what this team does come playoff time.
Charlie Ward has to arc it high, and then the tip drops. And it's John Wallace, who has put 6 quick points in the scorebook since coming off the bench, who gets credit for the tip. Sprewell knocked that ball away. Harper recovers it. Brian Shaw to the left hand, and it's short. Here's Wallace. Not this time. The follow isn't there. Johnson has it back. Third try is good. Now, right now, Shaquille is on the bench. Kobe Bryant has been ejected. It's a 12-point game with 8.5 minutes to play.
Well, you can see New York going to a very small team with Shaquille out of the ball game right now, so they think that their small team is going to be better than LA's small team. We'll have to wait and see.
Here's Ori with a fadeaway that's short. Nothing but blue shirts underneath.
A lot of game here left right here. Phil's got to be very careful about letting New York get a 6-8 point run or whatever, get this thing into single digits.
Rice knocked it out.
With Kobe gone, then you bring Shaq back in, and you know, things could be very, very interesting.
Ewing and O'Neal, each a spectator for the moment. Seconds to shoot. Wallace will. And Ori collects the carom.
See, without Shaq in the game, you've got to drive that ball to the front of the rim and get to the free throw line. Everything they're doing is a jump shot.
Wallace fouled Harper. Well, Wallace is making sure he has something alongside his name in the box score. 2 quick fouls, 6 quick points. Through 3 quarters, the Lakers had attempted 21 free throws to the Knicks 7.
It goes to show you that with Shaq back in there and you're not making jumpers, he's not going to come out of the lane, so you end up falling in love with that jump shot. You get no second shots, you get no free throws, so they put tremendous pressure on you to make shots the entire game.
Shaq, another great pass. This time Harper the beneficiary.
Shaq's looking over beats. He's got to come up with a new nickname with all his passes. I mean, Ahmad's got his nicknames over there in a file. He'll have a new one after today.
Contact away from the ball. Laker foul. Ori says, what, me? It's his third.
That ball goes into the post all the way from out of bounds. You see 2 guys go back and double team, and New York just fell asleep. Allen Houston at the top. He wasn't even involved in that play and just got beat with a back cut.
Sprewell. Not much of a factor today. O'Neal with the rebound. Sprewell has shot 3 for 11. O'Neal now has 10 boards to go with his 32 points. Cross-court pass finds Harper. He drives the baseline and is walloped by Thomas.
Now, Ron Harper knows Kurt Thomas well enough to know that when he goes in there, there'll be no soft foul. And you see Harp sort of smiling, especially with what occurred here earlier between Childs and Kobe. Harp has been around the league long enough to know when I go in there, I better protect myself a little bit.
Third foul on Kurt Thomas. Next Saturday, Ahmad Rashad hosts NBA 2000, the playoffs, where 4 of the teams expected to have strong postseasons of profile, including the Knicks and Spurs, as well as the 2 teams leading the way in the ultra-competitive Pacific Division, the Lakers and the Trailblazers. That division actually not as competitive as it was about a month ago, as the Lakers have pulled away. That's the playoffs coming soon next Saturday at 3:30 on NBC. And here's Ahmad with more.
Thanks, Bob. It is that time that it all starts to get really exciting. I think a lot of people want to know about those Portland Trailblazers. So what we've done is we're going to take a look at the Portland Trailblazers through the eyes of Steve Smith. Here's a guy that's never been past the second round of the playoffs. And this is probably his best chance to ever to win an NBA championship. We'll just see what's going on up there in Portland. Bob?
Ahmad, thanks. Charlie Ward left alone. Can't hit the 3. O'Neal another rebound.
You know, Bob, it'd be interesting with Ahmad with that piece to find out really how much did that loss that Portland got on their home court to the Lakers really put a dent in their psyche, because they have really struggled to recover from that time.
Well, they had the identical record to LA at the time of that meeting, and each was riding an 11-game winning streak. Since then, the Lakers have just kept on winning, and the Trailblazers have played only about 500 since then. Fox misses. Ori gives them a fresh 24.
See, I think Portland really is missing a healthy Brian Grant. He was so good for them in the playoffs last year. They have got to get him back.
Fox. No-look pass inside for Shaw. 3-second violation. So the Knicks will have it when we come back with 6:06 to play, and they trail by 6. Lakers leading the Knicks 87-71 with Phil Jackson on the Los Angeles bench. There are all kinds of connections. Jackson, of course, was a player on those great Knicks teams of the early 70s. It's now a matter of public record that he was offered Jeff Van Gundy's job about this time last year before the Knicks righted themselves and went all the way to the finals when it looked like they were on the verge of not making the playoffs. There's another block for Shaquille O'Neal. Here's Harper at the other end, slicing through and laying it in.
Harper looks like he's got some young legs today, getting to the basket.
Doesn't look like a 36-year-old on this Sunday in Los Angeles. Charlie Ward had to change the shot because Shaq was there and somehow got it to go.
If you're going to allow Shaq to stay back in that lane defensively, this is exactly what's going to happen. Look at Shaq. Wallace goes right to the basket, and who does he run into? Shaquille O'Neal. Absolutely just locked up in the paint there, and then the young legs here of Ron Harper up and under, and he's probably thinking about that long rest he's going to get here real soon, Bob, the 5-game rest going into the playoffs. Probably mentally very excited about that opportunity.
That block a moment ago was Shaq's 5th. Ward a three-point play. How about O'Neal's line? 32 points, 11 rebounds, 5 blocks, 4 assists. He's made 6 of 9 free throws. Is that a complete game?
Well, and he's doing it so efficiently. The thing about Shaq now is just the game looks so easy to him. He's playing in the rhythm that he wants to play.
Ewing on O'Neal, who shoots over him. And Kurt Thomas has the rebound. Coming up to 5 minutes to play. Lakers by 15. Horry comes out on Ewing, who dribbles around him and connects.
You know, in fairness to Patrick Ewing, too, when I talked to Jeff Van Gundy, he said, you know, that wrist injury devastated Patrick with his shooting. You know, he used to be a terrific 18 to 20-foot shooter, and that wrist injury so changed his shot. Patrick lost some range on it, and he said it's really amazing what this guy can do. He has such great respect for Patrick. When you talk about the wrist injury that could have been career-threatening, the Achilles, for him to come back and play the way he's playing. You know, this guy takes a lot of grief in New York, maybe for not being what he used to be. But I tell you, he's still a guy who wants to win.
Shaw rattles the first one home, and he was being destroyed, quite honestly, through the first half of this game, and he didn't back off. He's given it whatever it is he had to give today.
Well, he has to believe in himself because he has so many people doubting him. If he started letting those thoughts get into his head, you always hear him say, I'm still a great player. I'm still a great player. You know, he has to feel that way.
If Ewing is still a great player, how great is O'Neal?
Well, as I said when we started this game, I can't think of the last time, maybe Kareem when he was in his prime, or maybe Elijah Wan a couple years he had, Moses Malone. You start thinking about the big guys who dominated the league. David Robbins had an unbelievable year. Look at the pass that Shaq makes. He's just playing out there with such great confidence.
Among a number of things that didn't go right today for the Knicks, they needed big production from Latrell Sprewell, for one. He shot 3 for 11 for Jeff Van Gundy, and he scored 9 points. Allen Houston has 11 points. Sprewell averages 19, and Houston averages 20.
Well, remember at halftime when Ahmad asked Kobe, said, now your game plan was try to maybe get one of the top 3 guys to have a tough game. He said, we want both of them to have tough games, and that's the way they think. Like, we can shut down Sprewell and Houston, and the 2 games that they've had, they basically have done that. Sprewell was 5 for 13, and Houston 7 for 17 the first time they played.
Shaw returns it to Shaq. Fox for 3.
See, now got his confidence back. He went through a stretch of games where he couldn't make a shot. Now he's comfortable shooting the ball. As a coach, this has got to bring a smile to your face. Say, you know what? We've got all of our things going at the right time of the year. Now we just have to stay healthy.
Kurt Thomas in a crowd, can't hit, into the hands of O'Neal, who gets credit for his 12th rebound. Just playing out the string now, and there is your Shaw-Shaq redemption.
Shaq called that the whole way down the floor. He ran down and he said, bring it to my side and throw the lob. And you know what? The white towel just flew up from New York. They're down by 21 on the devastating play there by Shaquille O'Neal.
And after that play, Van Gundy was prepared to empty his bench. Andrew Lang and Rick Brunson getting set to come in. A timeout delays that for a moment. It's a 21-point lead, and you're watching the NBA on NBC. You can win a trip to the NBA Finals. You'll be eligible by voting online for the NBA Player of the Year and the Play of the Year. We'll have all the particulars next Saturday night on how you can win a trip to the 2000 NBA Finals. Phil Jackson's team about to win its 9th in a row. After today, he'll be 7 wins from passing his mentor, the late, great Knicks coach, Red Holzman, on the all-time coaching victory list.
And remember, his college coach was Bill Fitch, who was up there as one of the all-time winningest coaches in the NBA. So Phil had some great teaching through his years.
John Sally is in. Apparently Shaq is done for the day. And what a day. 34 points, 5 blocks, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and upping his lead over Allen Iverson just a bit.
I think Shaquille O'Neal is going to win that by himself. I know that Allen Iverson can put him up quickly, but if his minutes don't drastically go back, and Mike Fratello talked about this in the studio at halftime, I'm sure that Shaq and Phil will talk about how important is it for us to win, win the scoring title, and how much rest you need going into the playoffs.
John Wallace with that last basket has 8. Nice pass from Sally to Shaw.
But Sally steps in early in the game. It's a little jumper. That time a little wraparound backdoor pass to Brian Shaw.
Rick Brunson getting some minutes at game's end. Finds Kurt Thomas, whose pass is swatted away by Horry. Andrew Lang misses off the glass. Thomas chases it down and overshoots it. Coming up to 2 minutes to play. Horry whips a pass intended for Sally. Fox picks it up. None of this will be in any films shown clinics. Fox misses the 3. Thomas takes the flat-footed rebound. Wallace. A whistle before he can release the shot.
Robert Horry took that foul so they could make the substitution. They took that foul, Bob, at about half court so Phil could get Travis Knight and Devin George into the game.
Phil Jackson will probably be without Kobe Bryant for their next game Tuesday against Phoenix. Kobe certain to be suspended after the fight with Chris Childs, who will also have to sit out a game, at least.
And they go home against Washington, so it'll be hurting, I think, L.A. worse trying to go at Phoenix. And Phoenix playing very well, even with Jason Kidd with a broken ankle. They went on a road trip, got some nice wins with a big come behind win today against Minnesota. Phoenix playing well, trying to get that 4th spot in a matchup with San Antonio in the West.
Devin George's first shot. And Thomas another rebound. Brunson. It won't stay down for him. The tip won't go, and George has it. Wallace poked it away. The Lakers will keep it. Shaq going with some sort of turban look.
Must be Shazam.
Interesting fashion statement.
Say Shaq, the way he's playing, can do anything he wants to do right now. If he could win any political office he'd run for in L.A. right now, the way he's playing.
Devin George scores. The rookie from Augsburg, which is a Division III school located in Minneapolis. George is the first Division III player in NBA history ever taken in the first round of the draft. Coming out of Augsburg, a school that doesn't even give athletic scholarships. Kurt Thomas finding Andrew Lang. 101-80.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy told me yesterday, he said, if we can get 90, I think we might have a chance to win. And you can see the first time these two teams played, they had 85 points as Fisher buries the 3. Today they have 80, so they have not been able to find a way to crack this Laker defense.
Kurt Thomas for 3. Devin George has it. And a whistle in the backcourt with 12 seconds to play. A triple header on NBC next Sunday. Game 1, you'll see either Philly and Orlando or the Pacers and the Hornets. Game 2, everybody gets the Jazz and the Rockets. Game 3, most of you get the Suns and the Kings, but some get the Knicks against the Heat.
We will go back next week to Sacramento. Actually, we got a double dip next weekend, Bob. We get Lakers, San Antonio, and then Phoenix, Sacramento. And that Sacramento crowd is as good as any place in the NBA.
Sure is. They almost beat the Lakers a week ago today, and in fact complained about some questionable calls at game's end that might have cost them the victory. 106-80. Brunson up and under. Nice hoop for him. 106-82. And while the final score makes it look a bit worse than it actually was, it's just a bit. The Lakers were just about this dominant. Ahmad Rashad will talk with Shaquille O'Neal when we come back after this.